Breaker bar, 19mm socket, 13mm socket, 15mm socket, ratchet, torque wrench, small pry bar, flat blade screwdriver, pair of pliers, permanent marker, a thick steel ruler. Okay, so you want to just crack this bolt off. Don't fully remove it, just crack it off. Do the same on the other side. If you're doing this on the floor, then just use a trolley jack. If you're using a hoist, then just use a transmission jack. You basically just want to support this control arm so that when you remove the bolt, it doesn't just drop out and ping. So I find for the transmission jacks, just pop it up in this gap here, it's perfect. Now fully remove this 15mm bolt. Gently ease the pressure off the jack. And you often find that it kind of gets stuck. So just drop it down a little bit. Use a little baby pry bar. There you go. Move the jack out of the way. Grab the control arm, pull it all the way down, and lift your spring out. Do the same on the other side. There is a little spring mount that normally gets quite full with dirt, as you can see. You can either just brush it all out, blow it all out, or I'll actually just fully remove it and give it a little clean. So you can push this little nubbin in here, and the rest of it will release. Just use a little screwdriver, work it round, and she'll pop out. Take your upper mounts off, the original springs, and just pop them onto the new ones, making sure that you locate this bit here into the cutout there. Now you can take your spring. Now remember, there is this bit here. That needs to line up with your cutout in here. So pull your control arm down, place the spring in, and rotate it until you feel it drop in and stop. You'll also be able to see it if you look down through the slot. Then you want to offer it up, basically angle it like that, and leave it. Now, because this is angled, you will have it clear on one side and not the other. So what you need to do is go, obviously the bolt's coming from this side, so you want to do this side first. Get it so you can look down through it, get the bolt in, and then we'll wiggle it to get it up in there. Sometimes as you push this up, the whole knuckle comes up, so if that happens, just use your body weight and just pull it back down again. So now that's gone through there. Now I'm going to look at the other side, and I can see it's just gone past it, so just take the jack tension off a little bit more. And you'll feel it go through. You want to nip it up, but don't do it fully tight yet. And do the same on the other side. Refit your height sensor. So normally when you would do a job like this, because you're using a shorter spring than this factory one, this arm isn't going to sit in quite the same angle in relation to the knuckle once all the vehicle's weight is on it. If you just tighten up the bolt now, you're actually going to put a little bit of stress on this rubber bushing. If you've got poly bushes, it doesn't matter because the inner spacer tube moves independently, but with a rubber one, they're actually attached to it. So what you would normally do is on a 4-poster, you would fully torque these up. I've just got a 2-poster, my 4-poster's taken up with a parking spot at the moment. So instead what I'm going to do, chuck both the wheels back on the car, I'm going to drop the car all the way down to the deck again, I'm going to bounce up and down on the back of it a few times to settle the suspension, and I'm going to mark where the control arm is in relation to the knuckle with all the vehicle's weight on the ground. Then I can lift the vehicle back up again, put the jack in the control arm and lift it up so that the lines then match up. Then I'll be able to fully torque this, and I know that the control arm's in exactly the same position as it would be if the vehicle had all its weight on the ground. So I've used a nice thick steel ruler. I've used this little nub that was flat, and when the weight of the vehicle down, I put the ruler against here, and the ruler has then lined up with it there. So if I just hold the ruler pretty much in line, you can see how much of a difference we've got. So if you're doing this on a hoist, just use a transmission jack like I am. Be mindful that you are watching what you're doing, because the last thing you want to do is just continue jack and push the car off the hoist. If you're not using a hoist and you're doing this on the ground with jacks and axle stands, either chuck the front wheels or put the car in reverse so that it can't roll away. Cool, that's in line. I'm holding it against there, it's nice and flat. That is now in line, perfect. Now torque the bolt up. And do the same to the other side. Now you can refit both wheels, torque them up, go get a wheel alignment.